Hello everybody and welcome to part 8 of our Cotton On fragrance review series. So obviously Cotton On has brought out some of its new travel scents. Let's do a smell test. Okay everybody, we've got 5 new scents. These are pretty interesting. I'm very curious to see how they smell. Let's start with the smell test. So first off, we are going to try Toffee and Amber. Ooh, this is very interesting. So the top notes are raspberry and white suede. I get the sort of sharpness of the raspberry. Then we get to the middle notes, which is white floral and vanilla. That's very nice. And then the base is caramel and amber. I will say it's sort of cologne-esque, but I get that sharp raspberry. I get a little bit of the amber and caramel at the end. And it is fresh-ish. So it's like cologne, sweet, fresh, little bit of that sharp raspberry. That's very interesting. Very mature scent, I'd say. Then the next one is going to be peony and cedarwood. So the top notes are bergamot and peony. The middle notes are jasmine and nutmeg. And then the base is amber and cedarwood. I think you get a good combination of the bergamot that comes through. You get a little bit of the peony, not much though. Definitely the nutmeg. You get like a spicy, almost cinnamony sort of hit. I don't really get any amber or cedarwood. This one smells not exactly like soap, but it's soapy. Yeah, it's got a little soapiness to it, but the cinnamon does come through quite clearly. So does the bergamot. It's an odd one, I'll say that. Okay, then we have lily and jasmine. This one's not how I thought it would smell. So the top notes are mandarin and blackcurrant, the middle notes being jasmine and freesia, and then the base is apricot and musk. It is a very musky scent, I will say that. The musk is quite powerful. But I do get a little bit of the mandarin, mostly though the jasmine and the freesia. I'd say that's definitely the like forefront in the scent. That's really nice. This leans a little bit more old lady. However, I'm not opposed to it. It's got a very nice, delicate floral note to it. But something in there is stopping it from being too granny-ish for me. Now, I like that. I do enjoy that. That's nice. Different than how I thought it would smell. Very, very nice. We've got the melon and neroli. Okay, this one smells very melon heavy. The top notes are melon and wildflower. The middle notes are neroli and lily. And then the base is musk and white amber. I will say I get a touch of the wildflower, very, very small. It is mostly, I would say, the melon and mostly the white amber. This is not for me, but I know someone who likes melon scents, and this would be for them because they like fruitier scents, but they do tend to like more melon focused scents. And this is quite mature, and the wildflower pulls it up a little bit so that it's not just fruity. There's a softness to it that makes it quite elegant. So not for me, but it does smell nice. And then lastly, we have the daisy and violet. I like this one a lot, and it's not just because it's named after my bunny. This smells very close to Gucci Bloom. Very close. It's very close. It's maybe not a complete dupe. However, it's got the soft florally scent to it. I don't necessarily get grapefruit. Maybe the freshness of the scent is the grapefruit, because it is a very, very feminine, very floral fragrance, but there is a freshness to it. And a little bit of the amber comes through. It's actually difficult to tell if it's musk or amber. I think it's the two working together. This is very interesting. I don't get any violet. I don't get any freesia. Although perhaps mixed in with the daisy for the nice floral. You know, this is a very complex scent. I like this a lot. This is super uber feminine, and like I said, I think it's pretty close to Gucci Bloom. So after doing a little bit of a smell test, I definitely think I have like a top 2. I think the daisy and violet is my number 1 for this set. It is very, very close to the Gucci Bloom scent. Very, very close. I would actually say it's a dupe, but you know, my smell instincts could be off. But for me, it's very hyper feminine, very floral, very pretty, very light, very fresh, which I think is a mistake for winter, but I'll save it for the summertime. I might be able to wear it occasionally. This is definitely going to be a go-to for me in the summer. Then I think my second favorite is probably going to be the peony and cedarwood, just because it's super fresh and that nutmeg makes it interesting. It's got a sort of fruitiness to the scent, which I quite like. It's interesting. The bergamot mixed with the floral in this way with the nutmeg, the amber, it just makes for a very interesting scent that I don't think I would normally go for. But the way they've made this one is very, very nice. And then these 3 are not bad. They're just not my typical scent profile. With this one being very melon heavy, fruity. So if you're a fruity girl and you enjoy the fruity scents, this is probably going to be up your street. It is very, very fresh. I do kind of like the citrusy, freshy notes to the melon. It's different. If I wore this, it could be pretty good. But this would be an odd choice for me. I think it does smell good though. Then we've got the lily and jasmine. This was also very nice because you didn't get the black currant, I think, from the get-go. The mandarin offered a nice little bit of freshness. So I think if you like something a bit more traditional or old school, but you want to make it a little bit more modern, this is probably up your street. And then I think the toffee and amber is for the girlies looking for something maybe a little bit more gourmand. It's not completely gourmand. It's like, I would say, gourmand adjacent. But if you wanted something gourmand but a little bit elevated, then this would be for you, because when it dries down, it is very much caramel. very, very sweet, like icing. That citrusy burst from the raspberry does fade off. The white floral, the white floral doesn't really hang around. It's definitely the caramel and vanilla that are left over. So it is nice, but again, not my scent profile. So if you want to lean a bit more elevated gourmand, this would be up your street. Okay, everybody, that's my final thoughts on this release from the Cotton On range. They come out with interesting scents the more that they release. The main scents, I think, were my favorite. Those were the best. I still wear those to this day. I pack those in for the gym all the time. I wear them to work a lot. So those were pretty good. Some of these are very, very nice. I will say this is the most elevated range that they've released. Let me know if there's any new fragrance releases that you want me to review. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, everybody. Bye.